Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shalom and welcome. This is Man's Final Steps. It is a continuing series to those who will be among the ranks of the 144,000 and multitude that will come out of the Great Tribulation, as mentioned in Revelation 7th and 14th chapters. My brothers, today is February 3rd, 2014. My name is Symmanayah, and this is this continuing series of which I am compelled to present to you. Allow me to begin this segment. It is entitled Priority Positions, the Emergence of Elders. My brothers and sisters, allow me to begin with two things. I want to share a verse, and I also want to present a term with its definition, with two of its definition. Keep in mind, this segment again is entitled Priority Positions, the Emergence of Elders. And allow me to state this, and please listen carefully. I am not stating nor advocating that elders are more important than anyone who is least among us. I am not stating that. I am unequivocally stating that there will be structure and order among the 144,000 and multitude who are being refined to fulfill what is indeed written. I am very much aware of the verse in Luke 9:28, which reads, "And said to them, Whoever receives this little child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives him who sent me. For he who is least among you all, he shall be great." With this said, now allow me to present the verse in the term of which I mentioned earlier. Matthew 12:25 reads as follows, "And Yahusha knew their thoughts, and he said to them, Every reign divided against itself is laid waste, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand." The term in which I want to present with two definitions is the term anarchy. Anarchy. It is, one definition says it is a situation of confusion and wild behavior in which the people in a country, a group, an organization, etc. are not controlled by rules or laws. Another definition of anarchy is absent or denial of any authority or established order. My brothers and sisters, end times have begun, and foretold prophecies are intensifying with each passing moment, with each passing day. The level of intensity regarding famine, drought, pestilence, and disease will enlarge. If you doubt this, look at one of the largest, if not the largest, populous state in the U.S., California. Drought is increasing with intensity, and in its wake, famine, food shortage will arise. The degree, and it's not just happening in California, it's other western states and other parts of the world. Many of us are asleep as to what is happening as it regards to the signs of the times. My brothers and sisters, the degree of chaos, civil unrest, violence, economic strains, and much more, it will become widespread and it will become more visible. Natural and man-made disasters will range in many shapes and forms as whirlwinds and storms, including winter storms, increase. Those who will be among the ranks of the 144,000 and multitude will be refined and perfected to fulfill what is foretold in scriptures. Yes, we will represent the tasks mentioned in scriptures. They will come to be. As the tides of the wrath of the Almighty Yahuwah begins, when it reaches peak proportions, then it can indeed be identified and it will be indeed echoed as the wrath of the Almighty Father. And keep in mind, the children of obedience, we have not been appointed unto wrath. Therefore, we will be removed to a safe and appointed place, with the exception of those who are ordered to remain and be martyrs and lift up the reign of Yahusha, our Mashiach, our Messiah. In the midst of all that I've described, do you honestly believe gathering from small groups to larger groups will emerge without structured leadership led by the Spirit of Yahusha? Like I have stated numerous times, small groups will merge into larger groups with restructuring of leadership along the way. There will not be a bunch of small groups with a bunch of leaders continuing to function. The same as I stated before, as groups get larger, there will be those appointed to lead the larger groups. This will require various leaders and elders to step down or to step out of the way of the newly appointed leaders and elders of the merged group, the larger group. We will witness this process continue until the 144,000 in multitude are gathered, and then we will see the shaping of the final elders for Yasharal until the return of our Mashiach. I am compelled to believe that the two leaders for the multitude and the 144,000 that gathered, the last two final shepherds, will be the two witnesses of Revelation. We will witness during these refining times priority positions, the emergence of elders, yes, elders directed by the Spirit of Yahusha, to lead the gatherings. And I'm saying gatherings plural for the small groups to the larger groups to the final gathering. You see, the Spirit of Yahusha will speak directly to the children of obedience as well as through his chosen elders, his chosen leaders. Ultimately, we will witness the fulfillment of scriptures, bringing together Yasharal from the four corners of the earth. We will come to witness the 144,000 in multitude take shape and finally reach an appointed destination, again with the exception of those who would be martyrs. If you consider what scriptures informs us about a divided house and the term I introduced at the beginning of the segment, anarchy, it should not be hard to discern and come to understand what must be done to bring unity and structure among the 144,000 in multitude who will come out of the great tribulation. If you consider yourself a leader, elder, moray, priest, etc., if you consider one who seeks to worship the Almighty Father Yahuwah and follow the guidance of his set-apart spirit sent in Yahusha's name, I ask you, are you prepared, if ordered by the Spirit of Yahusha, to step back and relinquish your position to another? I ask you who are listening to these words, ask your prospective leaders, whatever title they are using, ask them, could they relinquish their leadership to another if ordered by the Spirit of Yahusha? Ask them, how would they be able to distinguish between orders from the Spirit of Yahusha versus any wicked one? Ask many questions regarding end-time refinement and structuring. Ask many questions regarding the 144,000 in multitude. I strongly suggest that you ask them what it is that they see regarding end-time events and what must be done. Ask them, what do they vision? What do they see? What do they believe the Spirit of Yahusha is showing them? And what do they believe must be done? When you make these inquiries, pray earnestly for discernment and understanding. For in questions comes exposure. Will come exposure. Yes, leaders will become exposed. This exposure will either be towards righteous reinforcement and confirmation that the Spirit of Yahusha is indeed leading them, or it would be an exposure which will prove that an individual is void of hearing the Spirit of Yahusha. Once exposure comes with proof and confirmation by the Spirit of Yahusha, either directly or through righteous counsel, each of us will then be faced with tough decisions. Choose wisely, for many challenges are ahead, my brothers and sisters, as we are refined and perfected and brought together into a unified group. Priority positions, the emergence of elders. It will become plain as to what must be done, for in the wake of extreme humbling events, we will witness increased obedience to the living guidance of the Spirit of Yahusha, either directly in or through his chosen mouthpieces. We will witness one another being used to confirm what is righteous before our very eyes. There will be those who will be gravely mistaken in their assessment, and there will be those actually guided by the living Spirit of Yahusha. Pray for discernment to distinguish the difference. Remember, the flesh does war against the spirit, and this will continue until we are transformed into the image described in scriptures. My brothers and sisters, believe it or not, a sense of urgency is erupting among those who will be among the ranks of the children of obedience. Soon you will witness the urgency intensify. Yes, it will be a struggle for many of us to yield to the commands and orders presented by the Spirit of Yahusha's chosen leaders. But nevertheless, this will not stop what is, and what must be done. We will overcome and move beyond our egos and our past habits. There are many teachings, practices, and habits we have acquired along the way of which we believe are right. But we will witness a refining process that will bring about much reproof regarding what many of us may think is right. I have witnessed truth begin to emerge, but because of age-old erroneous teachings and practices, it has made it most difficult for many of us to move towards righteous correction. But I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, age-old erroneous teachings and practice, and the key word is erroneous. The teachings and practices that are erroneous will be laid waste among the children of obedience. We will come to see clearly what must be done and what is expected of us. Yes, there will be the emergence of elders chosen by the Spirit of Yahusha. They will establish priority positions for leading the gathering mentioned in Scripture. These are indeed man's final steps. The 144,000 in multitude of which you may discover you have been tasked to participate will be refined and perfected to fulfill what is described in Scriptures and more. I urge each and every listener to seek earnestly to discern and understand what righteous orders are before our eyes. When they reach our ears, what we must do. Let us pray that we're able to discern and unequivocally respond with precision. One of the most common things I've stated often is there are no rewind buttons. I want to also reiterate the need to begin having sincere discussions among anyone of whom you consider yourself in fellowship with. Remember, the gathering of the 144,000 in multitude will absolutely not be a democratic process. It will be a process so ordered and executed by the Spirit of Yahusha as he works with those whom he has chosen to speak as well as lead in the forthcoming gathering. We will come to acknowledge that priority positions, the emergence of elders, will have significant meaning in the foreseeable future. We will witness these elders execute right rulings and judgment. They will render, as guided by the Spirit of Yahusha, reproof, living guidance, and instruction. Proof will come. The Almighty Father will prove all those whom he has chosen to lead, and he will prove with his mighty hand, with his Spirit. His set-apart Spirit in Yahusha's name will bring about all confirmation that is necessary. Remember, nothing can stop what is promised by the Almighty Father Yahuwah. Remember, it is a plan. This is a plan that belongs to the Most High. Scriptures are made alive and are accompanying living instructions, guidance, reproof, discipline, and judgment. In other words, if we search the Scriptures and experience the life in them, we will find that they will confirm what is unfolding before our very eyes. Pray and watch. Establish a ready mind, my brothers and sisters. This time, these conditions are all too real, and they are unfolding. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, my family, I pray we can begin to discover true discernment and understanding. I pray that we are able to understand the importance of priority positions as it relates to the emerging elders that are chosen by the Spirit of Yahusha to organize the formation of the 144,000 and multitude that will be gathered from the four corners of the earth, that will be guided to a safe appointed place as we see famine, drought, pestilence, and disease enlarge. But before they reach peak levels, the peak levels which I will define as indeed the wrath of the Almighty Father Yahuwah, before that occurs, we who are among the children of obedience that have been chosen will be placed in a safe location. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, remember, these are indeed man's final steps. Continue to stay tuned as this series continues. As guided by the mercies and favor, as directed as I believe I am compelled by the Spirit of Yahusha. Until next time, continue to be encouraged. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.